Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, fine, fine.
Okay, yeah. We have been working on this project, the
Okay.
project called Guess Who is Coming to Dinner, and this is the end.
Yeah,
We are
okay,
going to
sure.
share what we have discovered through the research we have been making.
Okay.
So to start, let's first of all introduce ourselves. So my name is Israel Chuzo.
I'm Namaga Arba. My name is Claude Gilai.
Okay, everyone has his task, like the topic to research about. Myself, I have researched about tailgating as the party which happens in the United States, and I have also worked on Japanese rice as the food. So I'm going to elaborate more about the findings I have got from the research and everything related to culture about those foods and parties. To start, let me start with the tailgating at football. Okay. This is the party which happens before the game to start. The fans of two teams which are competing come together in the parking place where that game is going to happen, and the fans come with their cars, with also the food to eat to share and the drinks to drink. Mostly when they come, they used to park their cars closely next to each other. To means if you park here, like the distance between one car, it's low. To mean one car is closely to one another. What they used to share as a food is the hamburger and dog uh, dog meat. They share foods which are like uh, hot dogs, hamburger, and as drinks they used to share alcoholic drinks. To me, because the reason of meeting as fans is to have fun, they share drinks, having conversation, in order to motivate the players of those teams. Because what they want, like, is to motivate the players in order to win the game. So they come together and share drinks, have fun, have conversation, and so that they can motivate their players to win the game. So what happens as the rules, everyone who comes to attend that party, firstly he or she has to know that she or he doesn't have to be like shy, feel like shy or ashamed to attend that party. I mean, if you were to come in that party, you first have to know what is it about. How do people behave during that party? Then if you come, you will be able to know that I have to behave like this. When you behave differently, people consider you like you are not together with them, which is why you have to know or to learn more about that party so that you can be on the same page as all the people who attend that party. So as the thing which is prohibited is to be shy. If you attend the party, you have to look as if you are together and you have fun, as the aim is to have fun. Historically, this tailgating game also has happened like in uh, 18, like in 19th century, in 1,300 years. It was happening as a harvest day. People in the United States used to meet by bringing their food, what they harvested in summer, and share the fruits they have harvested and the drinks. And the reason of meeting also was to have fun and praising the Lord for the harvest they got from planting season. So which means that they used to meet and share those drinks and food, but also waiting the coming season, the coming winter. It's like it's a party which we're preparing them to enter in the winter season, feeling happy or being prepared to do all things to be done in that season. Uh, in culture, this is good things which the Americans, especially college, those students who study in college, they have to participate in this game because apart from motivating the players to win the game, also this is considered like the part which helps to raise the brand of the college, which means if they support their teams to win, when they win, the victory also is, it's not only for the team, it's also for the college. To mean college benefit from the winning of their teams, and they motivate their students also to attend in that party so that they can motivate the players to win the game. The second thing I have researched about is Japanese rice. When you say Japanese rice, people who understand it easily first is to Americans and Japanese, as it is named. The reason why they understand it easily, it's considered as the first food. They can eat it on breakfast, dinner, or on dinner. To mean on each and every meal, they can eat rice. In Japanese specifically, this is very, very important food, and due to its use, like historically or even now, it's considered as important food. For example, the value of this rice have is that in history, like they used to, when we had battle trade, this rice has worked as a means of exchanging goods and services. You can bring goods and services, and those goods they exchange them to rice. To mean, as now, if you want to buy something, you give the money and get that thing, and during that time you could get the things you want by paying in rice, using rice as a means of exchange goods and services. This food also, like in Japanese culture, if you don't have rice, what they understand first or what they infer is that you don't have anything to eat. To me, this is an important thing to both people, and even the emperors and the people who reign in this country, they used to value it as important food. But we can ask ourselves, or the thing I have searched about is, why do they like this food, or why does it have that those much value in the culture? The reason are that historically this is like the kind of food which costed much effort while planting it. Like it was a crop which required much effort. It was a labor-intensive task. If you want to cultivate it, it requires you to have many workers to come and help you plant it. And instead of going in the ground and plant that crop alone, people in the same location, they could come together and plant that crop. And while waiting for that crop to get prepared or to harvest it, they used to sit together and share what can develop their culture and their location. So this thing of sitting together and for common goal of cultivating that crop, and also having or taking some of the decision together, was made this kind of food to have that importance in the Japanese culture. Like this was considered as a food which join people together, which bring all of them together for common goal, and where they can decide together each and everything which can impact them positively. In culture or historically also, the reason why it had many values is that even the emperors, they could come before the planting season, they could come and like to bless that crop, they could come and say, bring together all the people in that society, and bring them together all of the people, the society members, and tell them that this is the time to bless this food. And when they have blessed that food, it's like a kind of praise the emperors take and give them bless that food so that they will get much harvest from that plantation. If the emperors and those people come together for only one kind of food, this also was the reason why this food had many values. I have said that if you don't have this rice, you will be considered as you don't have anything to eat. This is like their culture, and all of them had to respect it. And if we compare now, you can say that this Japanese rice doesn't have value, because even now, during the New Year party, they share this rice, because there is a cake which contains rice, which like this rice is one of the raw materials which make that cake. So they share that cake during the New Year party, and to show that not only many years ago, but also now, Japanese rice has many values, which is also the rituals. Like rice, Japanese rice, were shared during different parties, especially this New Year party. This is to show that Japanese rice is of more values. Apart from this, these cultures, man, the sixth one we were given to divide, and I have also worked on my own culture in Rwanda, or the ceremony which happens every year on the 1st of August in Rwanda. It's also called like a harvest day. People come together with all they have, with the sample of the crops or what they harvested, and bring them and cook them so that they can share those foods. So by sharing them, they also share different ideas, like everything which can help them to develop. Like if they have been, if it's they harvest from the plantation, they also share some of the ideas which can help them to get more harvest from what they plant. So as they think, I have worked on like the food they share during that party. We have they share potatoes, sweet potatoes. They share milk. They share sorghum beer, which we call chigage. They share banana beer and more other foods. But let me specifically discuss about milk. Milk is important food in Rwandan culture, as it serves as like something which can mean or can help the people to grow up easily, both physically and mentally fit. And this also during Umuganura, they used to share that food so that firstly they used to give that food to the children so that they can grow up early and physically fit. So what as the ritual related to this, the women who produced the child on that day, they used, all the people on the same localities, they used to bring the milk, which they milked from their cows on that day, and they bring them to that home, and so that they can give that home that milk to that woman who produced the child, and which was considered as the food which can help her to recover very quickly. So this is an important thing, and even now, people, Rwandans, consider it as an important thing. They give it to their children. They even consider it as one of the food among the foods which have many vitamins which can help the people to grow up easily and get beauty faces. And yeah, it's more important to all of Rwandans. So thank you. Let me welcome my colleagues also to continue.
Good. So thank you so very much, Israel. So it was very interesting to hear about you were talking about the type of food that you worked on. So me, I worked on Hawaiian poi and it's a very average cuisine. So let me first of all start by Hawaiian poi. So poi is a word from Hawaiian, from the starch food made from underground plant steam or corn of the tallow plant. This kind of tallow plant, they take the roots of tallow plants, then they pound them until it become like flour, then they mix with water and everything, they make poi. So a lot of vegetable that is primarily starch in the traditional Hawaiian diet is believed to be the original ancestor of the Hawaiian people for the centuries. Tallow has been played a major role in the native Polynesian food still because it represents not only a staple food but also an important part of Hawaiian culture and its spirituality. So the people of this island, Hawaii, do not want to lose this culture. So to the extent that they brought a high school called Kamehameha. This is a high school where they teach young and teenage people how to make poi so that they will not lose this kind of cultural context. So there are some rituals or traditional art with poi. So the first one, if you are making poi, young men wear what you call mallets or loin cloths that they consider suitable uniform when you are pounding steamed tallows. So you have to wear this kind of uniform. So the other thing is that you are not supposed to, because they believe that while you are making poi, you have to make sure that you are clean. Cleanliness is one of the things that they highlight. That's why if you have a polished, for example, on your fingers or something else, for example, you remember when girls are polish their nails on their fingers, so you don't have to have that because if your fingers are polished, it might far or it might injure poi. So you have also to stitch your hair in the back because maybe some of your hairs might far in the poi. So those are some of the rituals that are with poi. So if you're making poi, you have to do this. You have to follow this. Since poi represents the spirit of Haola in Hawaiian culture, it is forbidden to argue at the table. So when you are eating poi on the table, you don't have to argue or have some conflict because they believe that this kind of food brings peace and happiness and can bring the society. So if you are on table, so you have to make sure that you are in peace, listening to everyone, not bringing some conflictual ideas that can make people divide themselves. So in the testimony given by the little girl who lived in this kind of society, she explained that if you have any cuts on your hands, you can't pound poi. So as I said, also girls, rings come, meaning that if you have a ring on your finger, you don't exactly have to take it off because it may far in the poi or have some other kind of uncleanness. That's why you have to put it off. So that's some of the rituals and traditional idol poi. So let's talk about how poi, the significance of poi in their cultural context. So by referring to Carol Silva, this is a historian and Hawaiian language professor, said that Hawaii believed that crop of talo could be the key to breeding sovereignty on the island. So these people of Hawaii believe that talo is the best thing or the key lord to bring sovereignty in their culture on their island. So that's why they consider poi, because poi is coming from talo, as the main food that can represent their culture because it brings sovereignty. Since over 90% of Hawaiian food is imported from abroad or other places, so imagine 90% of food are imported, but they only have their own food that they stack on. They don't import poi because it's their own, because they cultivate talo on their land, and they insist among people, and they have like a campaign insisting people not to lose their value, their culture. They have to cultivate talo everywhere because one of their culture means. So the other thing is related to theft, where original Hawaiian called Kanaka Maoli believe that plants are the expression of specific deities. The ancient Hawaiian associated with cultivation of talo, which was brought to Hawaiian by Persian centuries over, meaning that plants, especially talo, which is coming from, which poi is made of, they believe that it is related to their god. So because they had a god called Ken in the past, and they believe that this kind of god gave them peace, and they gave them like a gift of this talo. This talo was a gift from God. That's why they consider it as a very thing, something that should be respected and given value to be considered as the main deity, because it is one of the greatest things they have in their own culture. So the other thing that I talked about is Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine is one of the types of traditional Dutch food in America. So different cuisine descended from, because America, is lived by different people from different parts of the world. So this is also come from German ancestors and Switzerland in 17th and 18th century. So they brought this kind of Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine in the United States. They were classified into Lutherans and Abians, so they are some of the parties of those people who came from Germany and Switzerland. They were classified into different parts or different the types of people. And for example, some people live there, others next to them, so they were in a group of people for different backgrounds. So, but this one from German and Switzerland, they made their own food that they can consider as the main part of their culture. There are some myths related to this Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. So first of all, this kind of cuisine has made different misunderstandings, like myth. Like, according to the first Great myth, it's saying that uh, Pennsylvania Dutch means Amish. So this Amish is part of people that also live in America. So, but it's the myth, or they consider that Amish also are related to Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine because they used to consume it more, like others who are originally from that place in the past. But they say that, according to some historians who made the research, they showed that uh, only they showed that only 5% of Amish represent or consume total Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. So it's only 1% of population. So it could not be one of their original or traditional diet because they only represent 5%, which means that they all eat like other people, but they are not original. So another thing is that they say that the pie can be stored for 3 days. Means that those kind of food can be stored for 3 days, which is normally impossible when you cook and let the food over 3 days. It will not be smelling well. It will be damaged by the. But those people believe that it can even exceed 3 days. The most common traditional variation of Pennsylvania Dutch chicken pot pie is with beef. So there's some different kinds of Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. They are made by beef. They're also cooked cubes. They are pot pie. There's so many kinds of this kind of cuisine because this is a general kind of type of food, but which can be made of different things. And we have different soup, salad, everything. So also, so this one, Arts is one of the historian of food who made different research on Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. He showed that in summer they gathered together to make sure that they can celebrate when they were celebrating the new year or birthday. So you can use Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine because it represents, so it gives them luck for the next year. So it can make it can clarify or prepare the good times of the future. So in the summer they organize some different parties and eat this kind of food to make sure that the next year they will be lucky and get many different things. So foods are something that can show that it is very crucial to their culture, is that it is one of the most or the first different things that people from this place are still stick to their culture, because it means that many different things from historical background of their culture, either based on belief and experience. So meaning that, for example, that kind of preparing festival at the end of the year, using it in some birthdays. So it was strictly allowed that you can use it in your birthday to make sure that you can, because when you use this kind of food in your birthday, you are going to last for long, because it gives you lucky instead of using other kind of food. So it was also used to celebrate New Year. Like they used it to eat roast pork and for good and luck, because they used to pray in those kind of celebration of New Year, and in that kind of praying, asking lucky and happiness for their gods. So they use this kind of food to make sure that they will be like in the past. Gambis is one of the best or the most famous cuisine among Pennsylvania people. So the best famous kind of cook or kind of food that they use to use in those kind of festival is called gambis. It's the best famous one. So those are kind of type of food that I worked on, but I also worked on my own culture. So on my own culture, I worked on ceremony called Busaba and Gupa ceremonies. So these are ceremonies that take place while you are going to. It is related to marriage. So when a boy or a girl, so because in one culture, a boy asks, or what you can call it, to ask a hand. So you go to the family of a girl and ask that they can give you the girl and marry her. So this kind of ceremony is mostly done in the country. So whoever wanted to get married has to have this kind of ceremony. And Gusaba is a Kinyarwanda translated word meaning to ask, and Gukwa is like giving dawari. So this is the most. It's from the history, and until nowadays people are following this kind of ceremony. And in case you want to get married or you are celebrating, in case you want to marry someone, either boy or a girl. But because in the Rwandan culture, a boy or to the family of the girl, that's where they use this kind of ceremony. So I talked about Urugwagwa. Urugwagwa is the beer from sorghum, from banana beer. It's a banana beer, so which is used in most of those ceremonies. So Urugwagwa is considered as the best because it's traditional from Rwanda. It is not from outside, or it is made from Rwandans and from their own spirit of making things. So guava is made from bananas. Like, for example, you can ask yourself, how do we make guava? So there are some different steps for how you can make guava. So guava, it all starts with collecting ripe bananas. You take ripe bananas and replacing with banana leaves to eat straightly clear juice. So after the content of the tank are then distilled, you still them because so that banana nectar is precious, therefore, and there's also juice inside the wooden bucket. You mix them using a small amount of water. Then the merit is placed on the banana nectar, covered with banana leaves, and kept in a warm place for 3 days, like 3 days to allow fermentation. So then, after like 1 week, you just taste your beer. Like it's almost like 7 days to 8 days you can eat guava. So guava is more. It is from the past because not only in the Busaba and the Gukwa ceremonies, but in other ceremonies of Rwanda we use guava. Like, for example, if you want to thank somebody who has done something good for you, you can use this kind of drink. So, for example, if somebody is a hero while celebrating birthday or anything else, or like other different ceremonies like giving name to children, anything, they can also use that kind of drink. So there's so many things that I found in the research that I made. For example, about the other importance of Urugwagwa, not only in Busala and Bukwa. So historically, Urugwagwa was very important because it was used in farm kingdom. For example, if a king wanted to thank soldiers who have contributed a lot in different wars or other ceremonies that took place in the kingdom, so they used this kind of beer. So not only this kind of beer, but in different parties, like receiving guests, because it was considered as the best thing that join and increase relationship. For example, it was also used for example, when you sit together drinking, it is considered as you get energy and more ideas. And because you chat, when you are drinking, you chat and you get more ideas. It can help you to increase relationship, credibility, and trust among people. So it was considered as the best one because it all incorporates all those laws that played in one society. So people that I've asked, they told me that children, so normally many people are allowed to take Guava, but children are not able to exceed their capacity because their minds are not able to host and receive a large amount of Guava. That's why they restrict them, like taking 2 or 1 bottle. But others are allowed to take different quantity as long as you can control yourself. So, and people have been producing or in this industry for so long that I believe that they gave me valuable information. So I asked it why they use Urugwagwa in Busaba ceremony. So the person I asked told me that since he was born, has been listening that people use Urugwagwa in different ceremonies to share ideas and make sure that the party is good. Because the party without Ubaba is silent and people are not in the mood. So because Ubaba can give you energy to dance and be able to move yourself, which even give the whole party energy and that can attract many different people. So Ubaba is culturally respected and has been used in many different ceremonies, either home or neighborhood. So it is different from other different foreign drinks, or because this one is originally from Rwanda and it incorporates our cultural values to these people. So that's what I've worked on in general.
Okay, thank you very much, Claude.
Yeah.
So as you have been talking about different cultures you made research on, I also conducted research on 2 cultures, which are Trinity portraitures and even window wedding ceremony. So giving you more detail about the findings, starting from the meaning of portraitures was one to mean that is to give away something. So portraitures were important occasionally, featuring speeches, dancing, singing, feasting, and even lavish distribution of property. So this kind of ceremony was made by Trinity people. These are people who live there in America. So in a case of like they used to have this kind of ceremony in order to honor the dead people and even give a higher rank to some people in the society. Okay, so in this ceremony there are types of food they used to take. So traditionally diet of the Trinity people lies on the seas, which are like fish, seal, sweet, clams, crocs, and etc. This means that Trinity people use different types of food based on what the most of the favorite food they used to take in their life. So some little or traditional associated with these particular foods, according to Qatar 2013, among the certain groups, portraitures become very competitive. Property might be destroyed to demonstrate the wealth. That means if you are hosting or you are having such a kind of ceremony in your home, you have to give so many things like what to eat, what in order to show your health. Yeah, you are rich. You have so many things. This means that portraitures could be done in a way of giving honor to the deceased people or showing wealth to the group of people by just spending much money in order to buy enough food or give what to eat the participant. So this writer or this author also went ahead saying that as it was an important occasion or an important ceremony, they have different events to where they practice this ceremony. Some of those events was like dedication, raising of totem pole, handling deceased people, as I said above, and even regain status following this honor. That means that if one group of people or a certain clan in the different society dishonest or disrespect another group, they have to host this kind of portraitures in order to regain honor. Also, what traditional foods or eating these rituals says about the culture. According to Akin 2016, the belief and custom of the Native American tribes who participated in portraiture ceremony and ritual was based on a sense of communal responsibility and the democratic belief of the tribe. So that means that if a certain society holds or hosts this ceremony, it was a matter of showing or sharing different things, happiness, and even sharing wealthness with the other groups or with the other societies. Yeah. So I also worked on the second culture, as I said above, which is head wedding food. As many other cultures in different parts of the world, they have their own way of preparing wedding. People have the way they organize as well as food they use in the wedding, depending on the meaning of the food that a certain food or a certain type of food have in that society. This means that in Hindu wedding, they use particular types of food because those food have the meaning in that society. That means in the wedding, Hindu wedding, they use coconut. They also use cumin seeds and ground sugar. They also use rice to represent sustenance. They use meat, and also they use a lot of paneer, cream, and chilies. So as I said, that these types of food have different meaning. When they use like coconuts, they want to show that the wedding is blessed. They want to show like nothing bad that is going to happen in that wedding. So going on traditional or rituals associated with making these foods or using these foods in their wedding, starting from coconut fruits, they place it in the hands of the bride, and then her father holds her hand together with the groom, and then press it in the hands of groom. So about the chum seed, brown sugar, they take those seeds and mix with the brown sugar to make a complete mixture. After that, they place the mixture in the rainbow wreath. Then in the turn, the bride and the groom, they place the leaf on the other head, on one's other head. In the Hindu wedding, they use colored rice when the guests are invited to the manda to throw the rice to the bride and grooms as blessing. So they take the rice and they colored it, and then they use that rice to throw on the groom and the bride as kind of just blessing them. So what some traditional foods say about the Indian culture. The Indian culture or wedding use different types of food which are used in the wedding, which have different reasons. For example, using chum seeds and sugar wants to make bitterness and sweetness life, meaning that they mix cumin seeds with brown sugar, to mean that in the new life they are starting, they will be facing or they will be meeting with both sweets and bitterness life. They also use coconut, which symbolize blessed wedding or symbolize prosperity. This means that in India, do not only use coconut as making fun or justifying that there is no need or there is no logic behind. It is because they have what they value from using coconuts. So, as we were given two cultures to make research about, I also had an opportunity to make a research about my own culture. The culture that I make a research on is about Kwitizina. When I try to translate it in English, is about its child naming. So this is an ceremony that is like to be done on the 8th day after the birth of the baby. So many Rwandese used to hold or to do this ceremony because they want to value or they want to welcome the newborn in the society. They want to show that they are happy with him, and in addition to that, they want to give him or her a new name that he'll be using when he grows up. So I conducted this research. I asked two people, and even I participated in this ceremony so as to know more about this culture. So the first question I had to ask my subject or my interviewee was, what is Kwitizina? What is child naming? So she was called Mukando Venantia, and she said that Kwitizina is an action of giving Kinyarwanda name to the child so as to welcome him or her in the society. So she went ahead and saying that they do this ceremony after this 8th day after her or his birth. So I went ahead and asked her that what are some types of food do people use in this ceremony? She responded that it depends on the family, but being like rich or poor, there are some types of food could not miss in that ceremony. This is where he said that in that ceremony, you as a family, you have to use local foods, which are potatoes, cassava, sweet potatoes, banana beer, southern beer, in order to show that you value Rwandan culture and you value what Rwandese do. So it was an interesting interview, as I can say. This is because I said that I asked her, is there any meaning or value to those foods? He said that yes. I asked her that why. He went ahead and said that, using a milk, it is a kind of showing that the children or the newborn will have what to eat, will have something to help him or her to grow up, and also to wish to the mother that to have enough breast to feed her kid. So about how do Rwandans prepare this ceremony, Venasia said that after 7 days from his birth, the parents invite different people, including friends, relatives, different children, to attend this ceremony. Then after reaching there, they start they give small holes to the children and send them to dig or to cultivate somewhere. So then after that, when the kids are coming back, the elders who left their home, they were just busy preparing what to give to those kids. Then they already finished preparing food and milk. Then they give to those kids. After eating, those kids do not have to wash their hands. Instead, they go there and rub their hands on the breast of the mother, wishing by saying that keep on producing boys and girls. So after these kids are finishing eating and drinking milk, this is where elders have to eat what they prepared for them. Drink, most especially beer. If you don't take beer, they give you banana juice. If you don't take banana juice, they give you southern beer. So it depends on your choice. Also, I asked her who should be invited in that ceremony. The quick question she gave me is that, as I said above, they invite the children, grandchildren, family, friends, and even relatives. Yeah. So I went ahead and asked another interview, but most of the answer were somehow similar. But for the question of how they prepare the ceremony, the second interview said that we only need to think about the ceremony before the baby is born. Not that they have to think, they prepare the ceremony before the born of the baby. So this is where they have to keep different harvests and even the money that will be helping them while doing that ceremony. And after, they have to invite friends, relatives, so as to help them enjoying or being happy for that kid. So it was after listening to this interview, I think that maybe I need to participate in this ceremony so that I can get clear meaning or understanding of this child naming or criticism. So I thought that how am I going to get an opportunity of attending this party or this ceremony? It was hard, but I thought to go at hospital and I visit one of the mother who produced. In that time, I went there at Kibagabaga Hospital. I visited a woman there, produced a boy, and then I give her something to help him recovering or keep on having a good life. But I profited that occasion by requesting her that maybe she can allow me to attend her child naming ceremony. Fortunately, the woman accepted. Then I went back, then I prepared myself. Then on the 8th day, I wake up early in the morning and I went to her home. So reaching there, I was I found different people. So many people are busy doing, preparing, cleaning, each and everything, so that the guests, when they come, they found that each and everything is already prepared. So I also take a part in preparing preparing. I helped them to clean tables and chairs, and the others were busy cooking. After that, we are all done with different tasks or activities. The head of the family, he was the father of that newborn, called us and we sat together, and he introduced, he opened up the event officially by just reminding us what is going to be happening. But before that, before calling us and we sit as elders in that time, children were already finished to eat and even drink drink the milk. But in that time also, as children were eating and drinking, the elders were finishing up what they had to do, and even welcoming guests in the house. So as the father was welcoming us or opening up the event, they gave us what to eat and we drink. After that, we were given an opportunity to suggest the names to the newborn. After suggesting the names, the father choose the name that he wants. Then after that, we dance because we are happy, and at the end, the father stand up and close the event by wishing or appreciating whoever participated in the event and wishing safe journey to those who are going. So I found that this ceremony is really good because I also have a chance to participate. Thank you very much.
We got a chance to hear from each and everyone, and the cultures here we have worked on. But as the next question, I have listened to you about what you have worked on. You have also listened to me about what I have worked on. So the question is, how are those cultures related? Like, what are the similarities and what are the difference between them? So, for me, as I have listened to you about the culture you have worked on, Hawaiian, Poi, and Pennsylvania Dutch, and what you have worked on also. What I have seen in common is that both of them, they have like the way they are rules and regulation, like the way they prepare that food or the way they prepare that ceremony. It's the only way each and every participant have to follow. For example, on the culture I have worked on, like if you are going to attend the ceremony or certain party, you know that you have to not be shy. It's like the rules that guide that. But even on what you have worked on, like Pennsylvania, when you are preparing food, you have to wear some clothes which are related to that food so that you can prepare that food easily and in clean way. So to me, the relationship is that the way we prepare the food and the rules that guide those cultures is something which is in common. Or you can continue by.
So as an addition, little an addition is that these different types of cultures have what they respect or the meaning they have in their own culture context. That is to say, if I'm a Rwandan, I have what I value. If you are from India, you have what you value based on like Indian culture or Rwandan culture.
Yeah, of course. So me, what I have seen that they are similar to is that it's kind of food are related to faith, like religion or spiritual context, because there are some different food that they give value depending on how they believe in their own goals, saying that we take this for this special occasion to make sure that it is a blessing come from God or we are expecting something good in the future. For example, for what I worked on Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, so they sit together and expected that they will get something, they will get blessing come from God in the future. And also what Abba talked about Hindu wedding, they take something and throw to the bride and groom just to bless them, to make sure that they are asking blessing come from their gods whom they trust, so that they can have a good family and produce more children as well. So I think they are somehow related to religious, spiritual context.
Okay.
Different or
Yeah, different.
yeah. I think like difference. What I have talked about, because I'm talking about Hawaiian, Poi, and Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine, they are not naturally original from America. So because America is lived by people from different culture backgrounds, so other things that you talked about are somehow original from, for example, Japanese rice and Hindu wedding. So meaning that they are original from those countries, but those that I talked about are from abroad, from German, from other different people that they came in America and stayed with their own culture. So that's like the difference I've discovered. Some are from original from that place, and others are from people who acquired that kind of culture from other different countries.
This is like the common difference we have seen, but what I can add is that, for example, some of the things we have worked on, most of them are related to food, but there is a difference that, like wedding, Hindu wedding, it's all about ceremony. And what yes, and the other one is target,
Yeah.
it's party or ceremony. But what you have worked on, Hawaiian, Poi, and Pennsylvanian Dutch cuisine, it's all about food, which is also like
Different. Some are
the difference.
competitive
And
yeah.
yeah, like the difference we have said, the difference we have shared, the findings from the research you made about different cultures we studied about, and all the similarities between those cultures. Now we are about to end our conversation, and
Yeah.
like it's an educative conversation as we
Yeah,
have
of course.
got a chance to learn more about the cultures, different cultures, like 9 cultures somehow important than
Yeah.
sitting to sit together as a team, sharing things we have researched about this important thing. So we can say that thank you as good members. We have been working together, sharing ideas, helping each other. So this is a good thing. This is a good culture. We can still obey and bring in every project we'll be working on. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.